From Monaco to Montreal, the Canadian Grand Prix. Fresh from his Monaco triumph, Senna let it be known that he was back into challenging, winning form.
He dominated the Friday qualifying session, leaving Mansell only fourth fastest. On Saturday, Mansell was faster than Senna, and faster than everyone else. But the track was now considerably slower, so that Senna was fastest overall. And he was watched by two interested guests at McLaren, Mario and Michael Andretti. Senna clinched the 61st pole position of his career, and for the sake of the 1992 World Championship, everybody hoped he would increase his points score here.
Most unusually, Mansell would start the race from the second row of the grid. It promised to be very interesting. The top 5 qualifiers were covered by less than a second.
So to the race. And at the green light, Mansell started well, but he just failed to pass Senna into the first corner. He tried to do it several times in the first few laps, but Senna calmly employed his Monaco tactics and stayed ahead. Nigel was getting fed up with seeing the back of a McLaren for the second race running. And Senna even eased away a little bit. Meanwhile, further down the field, the Larousse Venturi drivers Gasho and Katayama were involved in a rather destructive fratricidal tussle over 12th place. But on lap 15, Mansell did even worse, crashing out for good. Gerhard Berger saw the whole thing.
Nigel tried to overtake Ayrton on the end of the straight, just coming into the chicane before the start-finish line. And, I mean, I was thinking before to do the same with Patrese, but we all know that it's very dirty inside, and if you go brake later, it is a good chance to go straight over the thing, and that's exactly what's happened. He tried to overtake him, Ayrton brake late, he tried to brake late, I was dirty, and he went straight over the chicane and he spun, and he went in the wall.
Mansell stayed in the cockpit of his car for a lap and showed Ayrton Senna what he thought about the incident as the leaders went by on the next lap. Knowing Senna was now free to take the win as he wished, Mansell was not much in a mood to discuss the matter with journalists. But he needn't have worried. Senna's hopes expired some 20 laps later as the Honda's electronics failed. Before the season was half over, what was left of Senna's World Championship chances now seemed definitely lost. But the Brazilian was still better off than Ivan Capelli. Miraculously, the Italian was unhurt. And what could have been a fine 5th place for Katayama ended up in fire and smoke when his engine blew up just 8 laps before the end. Karl Wendlinger, however, made it to the end and scored a 4th place, his best ever result, and a big encouragement for the underfunded March team. But there was an even happier Austrian at the front of the race. With Patrese dropping out soon after Senna, Berger was the only survivor from the top 2 teams. Gradually pulling away from Schumacher, he scored his 6th Grand Prix win despite gearbox problems. A great day for Austria.
Alesi was again on the podium, albeit due to others' misfortune this time, and de Cesaris repeated his 5th place from Mexico. Comas scored the first point for the Ligier team in 48 races, but Senna and McLaren were back.